Hi, and welcome to Best in Tesla. We have already seen hydrogen die in my country as all the fueling station has closed. We have seen Shell pull down hydrogen stations both in the UK and Germany because they're too expensive to maintain. Toyota has been out admitting the Mirai was a failure and even have said Elon was right. And Toyota has been out with big claims about their new solid-state battery that will make the world's best EV. So suddenly many things Toyota will be able to make it. But then they go ahead and do stupid shit like this and shows us they are not serious about BEVs and make us question their claims about solid-state batteries and their 1,000-kilometer range EV when they're still wasting time and money with this new hydrogen combustion engine van. This takes stupid to a whole new level, and this is even worse than their hydrogen fuel cell cars. So let's check it all out and let's dive right in. The van used the same 3 hydrogen tanks as in the Toyota Mirai sedan, though unlike the Mirai, which is a hydrogen fuel cell vehicle converting hydrogen into electricity to power the battery and electric motor. The Hi-Ace hydrogen van works just like a traditional petrol vehicle with a turbocharged V6 powering the rear wheels through a 10-speed automatic transmission. However, while the Lexus LX600 that also have the same engine just powered by petrol produces 305 kilowatt of power and has 650 Newton meter of torque, the power for the Hi-Ace has dropped by more than 60% to 120 kilowatts and 354 Newton meter of torque. So it has lost 2/3 of the power by being running on hydrogen. That is how bad these engines are compared to a diesel or petrol engines. You need huge engines just to get a decent amount of power out of them. So you are left with 120 kilowatts of power, and then you want to put that into this big van that is meant to carry stuff. Good luck getting that up the hills in San Francisco. I don't think it will be able to get up those steep hills with cargo because it has so little power. And it is not a fuel cell like the Mirai, it runs on a combustion engine, so the efficiency is worse than running your car on bubblegum. It is not just powerless, it's probably also the most expensive vehicle to drive on the planet. It has the 3 hydrogen tanks from the Mirai, but that only gives it 200 kilometers of range, so about 120 miles. This is probably the worst car on the planet when it comes to power and efficiency and cost. The hydrogen tank in the Mirai can hold 5.6 kilos of hydrogen as we are charged by weight, and the Everfuel stations that were closed in my country, so we can't even fill up a hydrogen car in my country anymore. But when we could get hydrogen from the Everfuel station that is just next to my house, the price for hydrogen was $14 per kilogram. This means that it costs about 560 Danish crowns to fill up the hydrogen tank. This is about the equivalent of $80. So $80 for 200 kilometers. When I charge my Model Y here at home, it costs me an average about 15 cents per kilowatt hour here in Denmark. So about $12 to fill it up from 0 to 100%, and that will get me about 500 kilometers of range. So I pay less than 1/6 of the price, but get more than twice the amount of range. Jesus Christ, this is bad. And remember, at the hydrogen stations, there are only enough hydrogen to fill up about 50 cars before the stations need to be filled up again. And I have showed this before, how many tube trailers with hydrogen that are needed because you just don't transport hydrogen. And that is why the hydrogen we use in the iron industry and fertilizer industry is made on site, because it's so difficult to transport, but Toyota want to use it for transportation. just stupid. But anyway, it needs 18 tube trailers to give the equivalent amount of energy than one single diesel truck here. But because this is not the Mirai with the fuel cells, but even worse technology with the combustion engine on hydrogen, the efficiency is complete garbage. As the YouTube channel Engineering Explained has also shown, even though hydrogen is stored at an insane 10,000 psi, it still can't fit enough energy in a space that a normal car can hold to get 300 miles of range with a combustion engine running on hydrogen, which is probably the range that most consumers probably expect from a car. As he showed, it would take 21 5-gallon buckets to get 300 miles of range with hydrogen in a combustion engine. But if we just use the fuel cells like the Mirai, we only need 6 5-gallon buckets. So that is still bad enough. As we can also see in this video, there is just no space in the Mirai because hydrogen takes up so much space. So fuel cells is already a dumb idea, but hydrogen in a combustion engine is like 3.5 times more stupid. Even if we cool it down to insane freezing temperatures to make it a liquid, it still takes up too much space to fit in a normal passenger car that runs a combustion engine on hydrogen. It won't work. It's physically not possible to fit in a normal size car if you want 300 miles of range. And even if we take something like the Tesla semi-truck that can tow the whole hydrogen van with no problem, it will cost less per kilometer driven than the hydrogen van. If we take the average price for electricity for a private person in the US, so it will probably be even cheaper for commercial uses, but even with the price of a private person, the big-ass semi-truck will still cost less than half per kilometer than this stupid van. And they also want to put this into a Toyota Land Cruiser, so that will probably get the same range or maybe a bit more, but again, no power whatsoever. This is going to stack up so poorly against the Cybertruck that is just about to come out. That will have a lot of power, do a 0 to 60 in less than 3 seconds and can tow a lot and have about 3 to 4 times more range, but for a fraction of the price to charge. We of course don't know the exact price of the van itself, but if hydrogen cars are anything to go by, it will not be cheap, but probably cheaper than fuel cells that are much more expensive technology. How Toyota can still pursue this dead technology even after all the hydrogen stations that have been pulled down again in the UK and Germany and all of them in Denmark. This is also why Top Gear host James May sold his Mirai, because there is no infrastructure for the car. And in Australia, where they're testing this hydrogen van, there is like 5 hydrogen stations on the whole continent. And as the consumers has shown Toyota through the last decade, they have had the Mirai out there and been working on this hydrogen car. We don't want them. Your sales has gone absolutely nowhere, while electric cars has taken off like a rocket. A fuel cell vehicle didn't make much sense. Here hydrogen is used as an energy storage mechanism, but this is probably the worst battery in the world, as it loses 2/3 of the energy you start with from the creation to usage. But now they want to try to use it as a fuel. One of the most explosive things on the planet. Yeah, that seems like a brilliant idea. And as hydrogen is one of the most leaky gases in the world, we should probably take a look at the damage leaked hydrogen does, because a study led by Dr. Maria Sands and her team of international collaborators is the most comprehensive assessment of the climate effect of hydrogen to date. As she said, the climate effect of hydrogen have been an under-researched topic, and this is what she and her team found. The global warming effect of leaked hydrogen is nearly 12 times stronger than carbon dioxide. That's right, 12 times worse than CO2. So we better hope we don't do too much leakage of this stuff that is the most leaky gas we have. It leaks through metal, for crying out loud. So the technology is just too expensive, too inefficient, no power, no fueling infrastructure, and it's almost impossible to make the fueling infrastructure as you don't really transport hydrogen, and the stations are so expensive to build and maintain, and that is why Shell have pulled down many of their hydrogen stations and Everfuel all of them in Denmark, because they lose millions of dollars. And the gas has huge consequences for our atmosphere if it leaks. Nothing here makes sense when it comes to hydrogen for the transportation sector. We still need green hydrogen for the iron industry and fertilizer industry and so on, but let's worry about that instead, how to make that green hydrogen, instead of wasting time and money on this ridiculous technology for transportation. And even though Toyota is claiming they will come out with a 1,000 kilometer EV with a new breakthrough solid-state battery that can charge in just 10 minutes, and it's coming out with these electric vehicles in like 4 years, they still want to pursue this laughable technology of hydrogen. This makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense to spend time and money and effort on these stupid hydrogen cars if you have such a great EV product coming very soon. Or maybe this is just a good indication that Toyota is just talking BS. Again, as we have seen them do before. Toyota have before said that they had a solid-state battery breakthrough that will come out with new electric vehicles here in 2022, but that didn't happen either. So call me a skeptic, but for Toyota to chase after this unbelievably bad hydrogen van, if they have this great breakthrough technology in the pipeline for electric vehicles, just doesn't make sense. And don't forget, Toyota's engineers that made the Mirai have said themselves that Elon was right. It's better to charge the electric car directly by plugging it in. So they know and have admitted that EVs are better and a better solution, and even admitted that the Mirai has been a failure. But nonetheless, they continue the hopeless pursuit of the hydrogen car. Toyota will be the next Nokia for sure. Many think they will turn it around now with their claim of solid-state battery and their new focus on EV with their new CEO. But that they are wasting money and time on this hydrogen van with a combustion engine just shows us Toyota is not serious about EVs, and their target of 1.7 million BEVs in 2030 means that they are aiming for only produce about 17% of their production today being BEVs in 2030. This is where Europe is at today, and China is already at 25% BEVs market share. So as I made a whole video about, Toyota has made a plan to fail, and the action with this hydrogen van just shows me they have no plan of turning that around. And even in California, where we probably have the most hydrogen stations outside Japan, the hydrogen car is still not taking off. And Toyota's other prediction that BEVs will not beat out hybrids anytime soon has already been shown to be wrong, as we can see here in this chart for California that the BEVs have really taken off over the last 2 years, but leaving plug-in hybrids behind in the dust. And this chart showing global market share, where we can see the electric car has already taken off, hybrids not moving that much, and hydrogen, yes, they are on this chart, they're just so small you can't really see them. So if you are in doubt which vehicle is winning, just ask yourself, which kind of car is the world's best-selling car right now? Oh yeah, that's right, that's a BEV, the Tesla Model Y. And which car is probably one of the world's worst-selling cars? Yeah, that's probably the Toyota Mirai or the Hyundai Nexo, the two hydrogen cars. Yeah, it doesn't get much clearer than this. So, as you can see, hydrogen in a combustion engine won't work in small cars. It's physically not possible. So why would Toyota even do this? Well, that is up for you guys to speculate about and down in the comments below. But as Toyota is unwilling to let go of the idea of the hydrogen car, I don't see them coming back from this one. And thank you for watching, and until next time, take care out there and be nice.